to the third session of the second season of what we call the KuK-Tuesdays Dislocation. It's an event series that was initiated by the Department of Art History as Cultural History of Professor Dr. Benedict Savoy, curated by my dear colleague Fogha MC and by me. And I thought to quickly just give an introduction, which is more of a saying of thank you. And without further ado, let's get into you, Heidi.
Thank you very much. And thank you all for coming. I really appreciate your presence here. And I was in London as a student. And when I was in Ghana, my favorite subjects were art and history. So as a student in London, in the film school, I decided to explore the ideas of African art. So in the first year of the film school, I had to make a film on 3 African artists, one from Nigeria, one from South Africa, and then the other one from Sudan. And the environment in London at that time was very, very, within the diaspora, within the Black community, there were a lot of activities against racism, and police brutality and stuff like that. And I became part of the activities of the diasporans, the local people in England, the Black African people, mainly from Caribbean descent. So as part of this activity, I decided to take a walk to the British Museum, which was not very far from the film school. It was just about a quarter of a mile, just out of curiosity, searching for a subject to make my final graduation film. So when I walked into the museum, I went to the Africa section first. And the Africa section was a huge room, about 1.5 times the size of this room here. And it was covered with glass cupboards from the ground to the ceiling, all around. And I was amazed because for the first time in my life, I didn't realize the amount of material that were taken. I've never seen these things before. These are works of art, sacred. Some of them were very, very sacred works of art created by our ancestors, only meant for worship and so on and so forth. So when I went through the Africa session, suddenly it clicked on me that, wow, maybe I should make a film about this subject. This is the subject I'm searching for. This is the thing I've been searching for. So the next issue was how do I assess these objects, and what modus operandi, what strategy should I use to assess these objects? Now, should I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I made some inquiries at the information department of the British Museum to find out who the curator, the director of the Africa section. And I was told that it was headed by a man called William Fagg. If you Google William Fagg, he's, I don't know whether he's alive now, but he was famous for, he has written so many books on African art and so on and so forth. And that, I thought, okay, maybe I'll make an appointment to go and see him. Mm-hmm. So I made an appointment to go and see him. And I realized that in those days, I used to be part of I was an activist. I used to be part of the Black Power movement at that time. So I was always dressed in black, black, everything, black beret and stuff like that. So I said, I don't think I can go to an appointment dressed like that. So I decided to go and rent a 3-piece suit from the West End of London. A very prominent, impressive three-piece suit with the, you know, the one they have the watch, this. A little watch here in the pocket here. Yeah. So on the day of the appointment, I dressed up, look at myself in the mirror. I didn't recognize myself. I said, who is this? Anyway, so when I went up there, I knocked on his door. He opened the door, his office door. When he saw me, I think he was very impressed. He said, oh, this must be one of the colonized Africans, you know, the ones we have converted, you know. So I looked safe, you know. It's like, so he got up from his desk to come and welcome me.
You put on the white mask.
Yes, I was wearing a white mask, you know, black skin but white mask. So he came to welcome me and said, sit down, you know, what can I do for you? I said, well, I'm here to congratulate you. Because my first visit to the Africa section of the museum, I saw some fantastic, amazing works of art. And if it hasn't been for people like you, who have been very generous to collect it and look after it, and keep it and preserve it, they would have vanished in Africa. Nobody would have seen it at all. So he said, wow. He was very pleased, you know. I said, that's why I'm here to congratulate you, and I want to make a film to promote what you are doing here. Because I think that you are doing a fantastic job. So he went for it. Then he said to me, oh, but what you saw in the Africa session is only 2% of what we have in their collection. I said, really? So the rest is below me here. So he said, come with me. So I followed him to a door in his office, and when we opened the door, there was an iron spiral staircase. About 50 feet. We had to descend about 50 feet down to the basement. When we hit the basement, it was like in a time machine. One moment I was in the 20th century, the next moment I was, boom, back into history. And when I hit the basement, there was an aroma of the wood, the artifacts, you know, which has been kept in boxes and plastic. But something hit me, and spiritually, I was really very, very sad. But at the same time, I was happy. It almost meant as if, wow, my ancestors were saying, welcome. It's good to see you here. So as soon as I saw that, I went back to the office with him and I said, okay, I want to make a film. And he said, look, it's going to cost you some money. You have to pay a fee for coming here to make the film, and you will be allowed to work for only 9 a.m., from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So the film was shot in one day. And he said they were going to charge me 250 pounds in 1970, which was a lot of money at that time. So I said, okay, I'll go and raise the money and come back. So he said, go ahead and just... So I went to work. I got a job as a delivery man. I was delivering, working for a bakery that was paying a lot of money for people to deliver early in the morning to all the restaurants in the West End in London. I raised some money, and then together with some contribution from some friends and colleagues, I was able to raise enough money, and then I went back. So that's how this thing started. Thank you.